Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel scattered abroad and believers in Yeshua Messiah. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Hidden Manna. I am Pastor Dave Sain, Senior Shepherd here at Living Manna. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on this Shabbat Eve. The Shabbat is here already on the East Coast. I know some of you guys are some hours away, so maybe it's a little couple of minutes away for you guys, but for us here, it is the Sabbath. And as usual, on Friday night, here we are hanging out. And we're going to have a conversation. Just talk about the things of Yah, get into some of the hidden mysteries, hopefully. And just overall, just have a good time tonight. I hope that you guys are having a good time where you are. Before we jump into this, let me remind everybody, please, if you are not subscribed, you can do that. You can hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, so you're notified every time that we go live. We appreciate your support. You can do that through the LMC app. Everything that you give goes to what we do. It goes to helping us put out a good product, helping us get the messages out. So we thank you in advance for doing that. Download the LMC app. Plus, it's a way of getting in touch with all of us, keeping up with us in the chat room, keeping up with all the different videos and things that we've got. So we absolutely encourage you to be part of LMC and download our app. And I think those are all the commercials for today. I do this not by myself, but with my dear brother, Max. Hey, man, Shabbat Shalom.
Hey, buddy, Shabbat Shalom. How you doing?
I am doing good, brother. Doing good. I'm tired. I am so tired.
I hear you, man.
I'm really beat today. It's been a long day. We were moving some refrigerators this afternoon and at the fellowship, and moving it up and down the stairs. I'm tired now. I'm old. I'm cranky.
That's funny. Nah, I had a good day. I went out with Gary today. We went to the range.
Oh, yeah. I remember I talked to you this afternoon. Yeah, you guys are going to go shooting. That was awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
We had a good time.
I can't wait to go up by you and do some shooting up there. That'd be fun.
Yeah, well, there's some trade-offs, obviously. We don't have good internet, but we can shoot.
Yeah. We're having all sorts of technical difficulties, guys, sort of behind-the-scenes stuff, but we're trying to work those things out.
Yeah.
I wanted to do... Go ahead,
I think
bro.
we had one more commercial that we didn't get a chance for next week. We're going to announce... we were going to try and do a Zoom, right? We're going to shoot for a Zoom.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, brother. Thank you. So instead of our Hidden Manna for next week, which is obviously Friday, 7:30, we haven't done a Zoom call in a while. And I know we've got LMC family from all over the place and some people that have just sort of started out in their walk and are just sort of, going through those initial steps, and we'd love to be able to fellowship with them. So next week at 7:30, instead of Hidden Manna, the broadcast that we normally do, we will have a Zoom call.
Yeah.
And we'll put out all the information ahead of time. We'll remind you during the week as we go through the different, morning mannas and Wednesday Bible study, et cetera. We'll put it out on the app as well. And so on Friday, sometime during the day, we'll set out the Skype information for everybody. And then you guys can be part of our conversation. And we invite everybody that's part of LMC here in the Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, New Jersey, Connecticut, all of our family here, but also our family, in other places. Come on out. We want to see you guys. You want to hear the testimonies. You want to know what's going on in your life. Like I said, we've got some people that are really sort of, I guess you would say, just sort of babes in the walk, just sort of, and it seems so crazy, but it wasn't that long ago that we were babes in the walk,
Yep, exactly.
Just starting to understand, and your world changes. Your whole world view changes. How people look at you changes. Yep. And so we just want to be an encouragement to everybody. So yes, definitely.
And we all realize the one thing that you do long for is in this walk of being set apart, this fellowship.
Yeah.
So
fellowship.
It's a nice time. Yep.
Fellowship. The internet can certainly be evil, and lots of crazy things on it. But it can also be wonderful because it's a way of, even though we are in the diaspora, that is the scattering, we can still get together. And I know a lot of our LMC family, not a lot, some of them, don't have home fellowships, don't have a group of like-minded people around them, to get together with. And listen, it's just not the same going back to a church. It's just not the same. It just isn't. You want to be around people that really get it, that really understand, and understand how you're thinking, how you're seeing things, and so I look forward to it. It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. Good.
All right. So listen, guys, we wanted to do something a little retro today, right? Because, I mean, oh my goodness, there is such crazy stuff going on all around the world. I know we touched on some of this last week, and I don't know, did you check out, oh, you were there. I saw you on Wednesday night Bible study.
Mm-hmm.
Deep study.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It's scary. Awesome. It's a bit offensive, but that's only half of it. Wait till this upcoming Wednesday when you see the rest of the study, and it's honestly, it's mind blowing, and it helps you understand where we are today, why we are today. But I don't know about you, but after a while, and certainly it's part of my job to keep up with sort of what's going on, what's going on, politically, what's going on, governmentally, what's going on, just, geographically in the world. And it's a mess. It really, really is a mess. But sometimes the information is just bad all day long. And it's getting worse. I mean, we really are in trouble. We really are in trouble as a culture. Hopefully this thing doesn't go sideways. I mean, it's already gone sideways. Any more sideways than it is.
It is, yeah.
But sometimes I just need a break.
Uh-huh. And, my wife schooled me on that, and that's why the law of the land now is on Shabbat. No news unless it's something that has to be watched, right? You know what I'm trying to say? Not just for entertainment purposes, to sit there and do it. And it really does help you have a restful Shabbat, man, because sometimes you just got to step away.
So sometimes you just got to sort of turn the brain off. And, I know the sky really is falling.
Was that cartoon? Right? What was that?
I forgot where that saying comes from.
Yeah, it was a cartoon.
The
right?
duck or something that says the sky is, I don't know, somebody remembers where that comes from. Let us know.
Otherwise, it's going to bother me all Shabbat.
Yeah, it's going to bother me. It's going to bother me. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. I forgot, a chick or a bird or a duck or something says that. Anyway, so what we wanted to do tonight, guys, and I guess maybe this goes back to our roots a little bit. The title for today, if you guys are watching on YouTube, it's called Types and Shadows. And since this is called Hidden Manna, what we wanted to do is just, not that it's light. It's not light. It's just some of the stuff is really deep. It's really interesting. But we're not going to really get into all the stuff that's going on around the world. We're just going to do some Bible stuff. Just have a Bible conversation about types and shadows, about all the things that are in the Word, in the Torah, in the prophets, in the Gospels, even in the Gospels, that are types.
Chicken Little. Sorry.
Chicken Little. Somebody put it up there?
Yeah, Michelle.
Oh, yeah.
Michelle.
Thank you. Oh, is that Michelle on there? Hey, Michelle. Is she on there?
She texted me. I don't know if she's on the because she watches on her TV. I don't know if it's the same. You don't have access. Yeah, that's my issue too with Roku. You can't respond if you're watching it on your TV. You know what I'm trying to say?
Hey, Michelle. God bless you. God bless you. We're rooting for you.
That's right.
Yeah, so we're on TV. I'm on TV. I told my mom I'm going to be on TV one day.
That's funny.
That's funny. I actually had a family that came in one time. Young family, young lady. She had two little kids, and she walks into the congregation, and the little kid goes to his mom. She goes, "Ma, that's the guy from the TV." I thought that was so cool.
That was
so
funny.
Cool. He didn't want my autograph, but whatever.
That weekend was big too when me and Amy went up. I think it was during the summertime. We just went up there. Oh no, it was during Passover time, and a couple of new families. There was a new family there from Staten Island, a mother with the children, and the kids were in awe because we were both there, and they kept on because they watch Hidden Manna. And it was like, he walked up to him, he was like so excited. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And you forget, right? Oh, yeah, we're on YouTube.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. So everybody that's watching us on TV, on Roku or your smart TV, and, more power to you. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it.
You got a Yah bless back from Michelle.
Amen. Amen to that. I can't wait. Hopefully she'll be on the call next week. I can't wait to talk to her. I really can.
Awesome.
All right, so we're gonna talk about some types. We're gonna talk about some shadows. Some of these things, and isn't it amazing? Because it tells us right in the beginning of the book, Abba hides things. right? I mean, what is it? Deuteronomy 30, right? Abba hides truth. And Messiah tells us the very same thing when he comes. Father hid truth. We call them mysteries. Messiah has come to now make those mysteries known, but not to everybody. Not to everybody, but only with those that have eyes to see and ears to hear. And it takes a while. It really does take a while, because there's a pattern that Abba has set up that, just overdoing this for as long as we've been doing this, for us, I mean, we first began to first have faith, to first understand. I mean, we're talking, for me, it's, oh my goodness, I'd say 30 something, 35 years ago, maybe now. I have to really think about it. At least over 30. I mean, my children are 30. So we were doing it before our kids came.
Yeah.
So at least 35, 37 years, right? Of course, we were in the modern religious, world that we were in, but we had faith, right? We wanted to know, we wanted to understand. And yet to Abba, what is 30 years to Abba?
Yeah, it's like
It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like okay, he just believed, and like the next day, all right, now I'm going to give him this stuff. But from our perspective, and I got this when I was I think on Shabbat when I was talking about Abraham. He gets the message, right? He sees he counts the stars. He knows the seed is coming. He looks at the Maseroth. He puts it in its order. He knows these things are coming. And we know that he believes it because, the whole thing with Hagar, they go to Hagar to try to make the promise of Elohim come about by their own efforts, modern religious works, right?
Yep, yep.
And yet it isn't until almost 40 years later, right? So let's say Isaac is, I'm just spitballing here because I didn't really do the math, but let's just say Isaac is 30 years old when Abraham goes to offer him. Right? And somebody can look up and find the actual dates.
Which is another type around the same age as Yeshua.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Right? Yeah, there you go. There's a type, but that's 30 years after his birth, and I think they already had Ishmael for 12, 13 years before he's born. So add another 12 or 13. I mean, it's a long time.
Yeah.
From when he first got the promise to when Abba says, now I know. Now I know that you believe me. Because obviously he goes to offer up his own son.
Yeah, especially in our generation, man, right? We want everything yesterday.
Yeah, we want everything quick. Yeah. But if you think about it, what's 40 years to Abba?
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. So it's a journey for all of us. And I really do believe that no matter where we are, because there's absolutely Abba's people that sincerely and truly do have faith and love Elohim, that are in the modern religious world or in Islam or in some other, whatever it is, that really do have a faith. And over time, Abba will get them more and more and more and more truth. And it could be 30, 20, 25, 40 years. And then finally they get it. And they get to the spot where they are. But now I look back and I say, oh man, how many years did I waste?
Yeah, that's the whole thing, right? I know.
How many years did I waste? And how good was Abba that in those years when I was confused, had faith, but confused that my life was not required of me.
Yeah.
There were plenty of times my life should have been required of me. And yet Abba was good. He's been good to all of us. He's been good to every single one of us that are listening. Yeah. He's been good. So if you're on your journey and you don't have the whole story yet, you don't understand the whole thing, that's okay. That's okay. It's going to come. It's going to come, piece by piece. You're on the right road.
Yeah. And I think me and you talked about this. I forgot what book it was. It was Out of the Canon, when Yah tells the prophet, when he asks him, why do wicked people live so long? Not all of them, but most, and he gives them an right, and he says that he gives them an opportunity to come to truth. So right there, if that doesn't show the heart of Yah, right?
Is that Esdras?
Is that Esdras? Yeah, it might be.
I think I don't know. Again,
if
you
anyone
guys
knows that,
online,
put in the comment. Yeah,
let our Bible scholars tell us. But it sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm.
But what a statement!
Yeah,
yeah. What a statement is that? That Abba gives longer life to people who are messing up, to get them to the point of, okay, get your head straight.
Yeah.
Listen to what this says. Understand it. And then again, you want to, what? So people that are really, really walking and their life is short. Well, Abba knows where they are.
Yeah.
And,
I was just discussing with Michelle.
Their job is done.
The other day, King David died at 70. He wasn't, right? It's like, whoa, what's up?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think he would have been, 120,
120 and
pushing something? But no, why? Our bodies fail, and was merciful, right? If you're sick and you don't want to live another 20 years in bed, not being able to get up, but no, you're right. Isn't that funny? That shows the true grace of Yah, that He gives an opportunity. So no man can say, I never had a chance. I never knew.
So I just want to encourage everybody that's listening, wherever you are, and I listen. You do not have to have the whole thing understood.
Nope.
Right, but there are some things you do need to understand. Who Messiah is, who Elohim is, walking in his instruction. But, all the rest of it's going to come. If you are faithful, and even the pattern that Abba gives us in doing this is to do first, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's, and I know, because I've talked with different brethren over the years, and sometimes my perception, and maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but this is my perception. But I often see a lot of people, even that are really walking with Abba, are so critical of other people who don't have the whole story yet, and are quick to I don't want to down.
Yeah, shoot them down.
Yeah, I'm looking for the right word here, but basically that's it. Rather than understanding, hey man, I was there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, you may not have the whole story yet, but you got to understand it piece by piece. And honestly, the prayer has to be, if you really want to understand, you have to pray this consistently. Mm-hmm. Give me eyes to see, ears to hear, and a heart that's willing to obey. I mean, my goodness, we prayed that prayer from the time 35 years ago, we were praying that prayer. And you know what Abba? You know what Abba did? He answered it. Yep. He answered it. And to him, it was, it was boom. Okay, boom. Down here in reality, it was, I guess we've been really, I guess you could say, walking in truth, maybe a decade now, maybe a little bit more. And it's all come in stages. There was years, even with our children, we were small. We used to do Christmas, obviously, right? Everybody did Christmas. Mm-hmm. We would do Christmas, and we'd get our kids, and we put up our tree, we put the star there, and we'd break out our Bibles, and our kids would read what is traditionally, the Christmas story, as the religious world around us portrays it. Yeah, and we did all of that, and then just one year, even before Karen and I began the journey we're on now, we just thought to ourselves, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? Mm-hmm. And then there came, about 6-7 years. We just, not because for any external Torah reason, but just because we were like, what are we doing this for?
Exactly.
The Bible doesn't really say this. So we just let it go. But I still wanted my gift from Karen. So now we can get it any day we want.
Yeah, right. Yep. That's what we do now in our house, right? When we see something, it's, why'd you get me that, Dad? I love you. That's it. Especially when you got kids, right? It's nice. It always feels good to give your kids a gift, right? And it feels good to get a gift.
Mama didn't raise no fool. You want to buy me a gift, even for Christmas, man? You want to buy me a gift? You can give it to me afterward. Listen, you want to buy me a gift? Fine. I'm not going to say I don't want it. Mm-hmm.
But wait till January 1st.
I know, and I'm going to get all sorts of emails from this. Oh, you're doing Christmas. Stop that. Stop.
I'm joking. Conversation. We're just
joking. I'm joking. We're having a conversation. Yep. So I want to talk about some types, and there are a gazillion of them. Uh-huh. Some of them we know, and this is kind of what we've been doing in our Torah series. And you can, on Shabbat, we've been going back to the Torah and looking at the story of the Torah and finding Messiah in it. And so we're going to do that tonight. And I know that we haven't, Brother Max and I, we didn't rehearse this, so I don't know what he's going to say or what he's got. I've got something that I want to share. And so I'm going to let you go first. And guys, if you have a type out there, you know, a figure, by type, we mean that, and this is crazy. This book is divine. Mm-hmm. The book is divine. The story is divine. How life can evolve, how a nation can be brought out of another nation, and their history gets played out and recorded, and in almost, not in every, but in almost every aspect of their history, of things that really physically happened in reality, it tells another story. Mm-hmm. Man, that's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy to me.
I don't have to do this in order, right? Because I picked, you know, Joseph, you know, obviously Joshua and King David, right? Those are the three.
We got a lot of types. There's no way we're going to get through all those. Plus, honestly, some of this is, man, I have been wanting to do the story of King David, honestly, for almost 2 years now. But I can't find the time. We got so many other things we've been talking about. Mm-hmm. My goal is we're in Abraham. This weekend we're going to probably be, and I'm even now I'm not 100%. I'm molding things around in my head, but more than likely tomorrow we're going to be talking about either Ishmael and Isaac or Jacob and Esau, and you know, examining that whole story. But I really want to get to King David, because oh my goodness, the jewels. The information, because everything's a type, everything's a shadow. And this is what Messiah told us. He says, you know, read Moses. You know, if you believe Moses, you believe me. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And have you been listening? Obviously, I hope you have. I'm pretty sure you have. You've been listening to Morning Matters?
Yes.
Hopefully you guys. Well, no, I don't know what happened today. I really don't know what happened because it came up on my feed. I don't know if it's a glitch with the program. Yeah, it came up on mine, no problem. And normally after I do it, if I do it beforehand, I'll schedule it so it comes out. I'll check it early in the morning, and I didn't have a problem. So I don't know what the problem is. I apologize. We're looking into it, trying to figure it out. But if you follow the whole week of Morning Manners this week, you know, it ends with, you know, the discussion of Saul in chapter 3 of Romans, and you know how he's saying, you know, it's not by the works of the Torah, right? It's not by the physical things that you do, but he's telling us. You can't do this without the Torah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's a Torah of faith. That doesn't mean it's a different Torah. It means you have faith in the story of the Torah. Because the story of the Torah is about Messiah.
That's right. Amen.
And I think, what's the name of that show? It's sort of like the Chronicles of Messiah. It's out now. I've seen it on the internet. I haven't really. I've only watched little clips of it.
Yeah, I've seen the same thing on YouTube.
It's not the Passion of the Christ or anything like that. It's like a series.
And I knew that definitely a Hebrew-looking Yeshua, right? Nice. Dark. Yeah,
you know,
I've seen the feeds. I don't know, but I think.
But it's, again, you know, it really does come from a Catholic perspective, which is, you know, par for the course. But there's some decent stuff in there. But I'm going to look at just one clip, like a little 30-second clip I saw on the internet. And I thought, man, this is great. Man, they hit it on the nail head. And it's where the master is at the synagogue. You know, he's opened up Isaiah. You know, at Nazareth, right? This is today the scriptures fulfilled, and they do it wonderfully because he sits down in Moses' seat. Right? He reads.
You know what? I did.
Did you see that
one scene on YouTube? Yes, I think I might have.
And I forgot where in the storyline, but at some point in the storyline, the guy that's playing Messiah says, "I am the Torah," and I thought,
yeah. No,
oh man. You know, just for that, I might just check it out. Oh, The Chosen! Somebody put up there, right? The Chosen.
Yes.
And I'm not saying you should go watch The Chosen because I don't know. I really haven't. But that particular scene,
Mm-hmm.
When I watch it, I don't know about you, but every time I watch those type movies, all I could do is you watch them and you're like, no, no, yes, 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 no, no,
I
yes,
know.
yes,
It's
yes,
hard.
no. It's hard. It's hard.
It's so hard. I know.
But that scene was cool. And that may not be a quote per se, but that is the gist of everything Messiah said.
Mm-hmm.
I am the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
Have faith in him is to have faith in the Torah.
Yeah.
In the Torah of that Abba gave to Moses, which is the story of the Messiah. So that's
Amen.
been our Morning Madness throughout the week. Hopefully you guys are watching. Be part of Morning Madness. If you're not, definitely download the app and, just get a little devotion in. But so let's hear your first type. Let's hear your first type.
Well, like I said, I did more with David, but Joseph, obviously we know, right?
Let's pick one.
So,
pick one and throw us out
I'll start
some
with
hidden
Joseph,
manna.
right? So we got Joseph from the beginning, right? We can see that Joseph was what? He wasn't accepted by his brothers. And we know, what does John 1 say? That, right? Yeshua came and he wasn't accepted among his own.
All right,
right?
let's give some reference here. Let's slow down just a little bit so people can follow with us.
Yeah, let's put some scripture. We'll do John chapter 1.
All right, so explain first. So story of Joseph for those that may be watching that really haven't read through Joseph or don't know the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give us the download of Joseph at least up to the point where his brothers
actually,
reject
as
him.
I'm thinking about that, how funny is that it's Jacob's beloved, right? His beloved son, because right, they all knew that Joseph was the favorite, right? He was the beloved, so
he was the Michael of our family,
of the Saints family, right?
That's an inside gag, guys.
Yep.
It's who's the favorite son among us.
Yeah.
Well, it really is me, because that's what Mom says all the time when she's with me.
Man.
But in public,
It's,
is that what she says to you too?
yeah.
That's probably what she says to Bob and Olga and everybody else too.
Well, Bob thinks he's the favorite, right? Because he's the oldest. We'll give him that. He's the oldest. But
all right, so
Joseph, right? And of course we know that he's been downloaded some visions, and he has the whole world bow down to him, right, with the wheat and stuff. And he's telling his brothers these visions, and they're like, they can't stand him. They're just getting more and more bitter against him, to the point where he goes to visit his brothers to bring him. Was it some food, right? Was he bringing his brothers some food?
Well, you got to admit, it is a little bit. It does sound a little bit arrogant.
Yeah.
When you wake up in the morning and say, "Hey, bro, listen, I had a dream about our whole family last night." Yeah, and all of you guys are going to
bow down. Y'all bow to me. Yeah,
you're all going to bow down to me like
He's
we.
like, what?
Yeah,
what, right.
But
which is right. So then we all know that at that point, his brothers want to kill him at first, and then they're like, no, we can't kill him. So they throw him in a pit, and then they sell him to some traders that are going into Egypt, and then from there. I don't know how far you want me to go with the whole story.
Well, I mean, the fact that they rejected him.
Yeah, he wasn't accepted amongst the family. I know. Was it Judah who had a heart for him? A little bit there.
I know Judah repents.
Yeah,
at
Judah
the end,
repents.
he's sort of the lead guy that repents for what they did. He's also sort of all of them were involved in the selling Joseph into Egypt, but that story is amazing, because it really is the story of the gospel. This is hidden manna. It is the story of the gospel.
Yeah.
If Joseph is a type of Messiah who is rejected by his brothers.
Yep. Sold for silver, right? He was 20 shekels of silver. Yeshua, would Judah get 30 shekels, right?
Well, inflation.
Right? Yeah.
20 shekels just doesn't buy you a person anymore. It's up to 30 shekels. By the time 30 pieces of silver. By now it'd be like, who knows, 2,000 bars of gold, whatever it is for now. But
Yah still had favor on Joseph, obviously, right? Even in Egypt, he winds up being a slave, basically, in a master's house, an Egyptian. The Egyptian guy falls in love with him. He gives him all authority of his home. And then obviously he gets set up by his wife. His wife wants to, sleep with him, and he doesn't do that. So he rejects it because it's his master's wife. He's not going to mess around with that. but he was still found guilty, even though he had no sin, right? He didn't do it, but he was still thrown in prison. And in that prison, he was amongst two other thieves or two other prisoners, another type, with the shoe on the stake.
Oh yeah, the parallels are utterly amazing, and it's not a pattern or a shadow. Doesn't have to be exactly the story, but it's pretty much kissing cousins, right?
Yeah.
It's so close that you can't help but say, "Oh my goodness!"
Oh my goodness!
I was in the hospital. I don't know. It was maybe a couple of years ago. I forgot what happened. I was in the hospital. Went to the emergency room. I mean, you go to the emergency room here in the Bronx or anywhere in the boroughs.
Forget it. Yeah.
Lot of Jewish doctors, a lot of Jewish nurses.
Oh, I was about to say the waiting room. I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well yeah, the waiting room, that's another issue. But so I'm sitting in there, and one of the nurses comes up, and it's a Jewish man. He's wearing a yarmulke. He's got the whole get up, the clothing and everything.
Yeah.
You can see he's Orthodox. He's wearing the curls, and his name was Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
He comes up and goes, "Hi, I'm your nurse. My name is Joshua." And so I look and says, "Oh, Yehoshua or Yehusha, Yeshua."
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "How do you know my Hebrew name?" He says, "Oh man, I know the whole story." I said, "Yeah, I'm a believer in the Mashiach. I'm a believer in the God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." And he goes, "Oh, so you're that sect they told us about."
Oh, really? So
because they're thinking back
going around, huh?
Yeah, well, not even now. He's talking about the sect from the first century.
Really?
The sect of the Nazarene. They still talk about it now.
Get out of here! That's awesome.
Yeah, which I'm like, oh wow. And he goes, yeah, we don't, we don't bother with that kind of stuff. And I said, well, yeah, well that's exactly what the story of Joseph said. That his brothers are not going to recognize him, and they're going to push him away, and he's going to come back triumphant, and at the end, they're all going to realize he was Mashiach. Man, did I get a nasty look!
Probably got a nasty.
I was a little concerned at what he was putting in my IV after that, because he was not happy. But how do you combat that one when it's Torah? When it's Torah, it's right in front of you.
Injecting pork blood into your IV.
Oh, that's terrible, man.
Oh wow, but that's cool. I didn't know that. They still talk about the Netzar.
Yeah, I found that interesting too. I really did. I found that interesting, but I gave him the type. I said, yeah, well, you call it a sect, but here's the story. This is the story that Abba gave us and here I am in the hospital, right? I forgot what I was there for, but here I am talking to him about this is the type, this is the shadow. And you know what? I think maybe he got so upset because how do you miss that shadow?
I know. Yeah.
How do you miss that type? The people that were his brothers. And here it is. What were we looking at? John chapter 1. Let me pop this up.
Yeah.
John chapter 1, like 11. Yeah. Let's take a look at this, guys, just for a scriptural reference for everybody. Here is Gospel of John, or Yochanan. Love saying it that way, Yochanan. Oh, somebody threw up there Isaac and Yeshua. Yeah. We're going to get to that for sure. Sister Paula put up Isaac and Yeshua. Another good type. Let me know what other types you guys know of, guys. Post it on the chat. We want to know what you guys are thinking about when we say types, because all these things are popping up in our minds and our hearts. And the reason they're popping up is because Abba's given it to us. So here's Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 9. It says, he was the true light, the Mashiach, which enlightens every man coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world came to be through him, and the world did not know him. He came to his own. Now, of course, his own here. You could generalize this, because I think a lot of the religious world generalizes this and says, well, it means he came to humanity. And I'm not going to say that's wrong.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
but that's not what John's talking about. When he says he came to his own, he means he came to the Jew. He came to Judah. He came to the house of Israel of its day.
Yep.
And it's not 100% true.
I've only come for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? So
yeah, so there you go. So and it certainly is not true that everybody in Judah rejected him, because they didn't. As a matter of fact, if you really get into the history of it, I think it's Dr. Jones does this in his book. Let me think of the name of it. The Sons of Greece, and I think it's called The Sons of Greece, one of his books. And he goes into the history, behind all this. And what we've not been told, what we've never been shown before, is that under Peter and Yaakov, the leader of this sect, the Netzarim, a large portion, so much so that it threatened the establishment of Judaism, believed in the Mashiach.
Wow.
And then, of course, things go sideways with Rome and the Gentiles. So when it says he came to his own, it absolutely means he came to Judah, right? He came to the house of Israel. Mm-hmm. So it isn't everybody that rejects him, right? So he came to his own did not receive him, but as many as received him. He's speaking about the Jew. That's what this is referring to.
Yep.
To them, he gave authority to become children of Elohim. That's a whole other message for another day. And it might even be part of, I was thinking about this for part of tomorrow, talking about the adoption, what it actually means, the doctrine of adoption, because that's what he's talking about here. To those believing in his name, who were born not of blood, nor of the desire of the flesh, nor of the desire of man, but of Elohim. So most people would read that and not realize, oh my goodness, this is actually a parallel to the story of Joseph.
Yep.
He came to his brothers. His brothers did not receive him, and of course, all the horrible stuff that goes on that goes on after that. Good pattern. Yeah. Good pattern. It's worth so much more study, obviously, than we can do, tonight. But it is worth so much more study. What other patterns you got?
I wanted to take just a part of David. I know that you're gonna probably extrapolate more, and I think he's the biggest one we got. But I thought this was really cool. I'm thinking about David, right? And you think right away, the biggest story that we all learned in Sunday school, right, is David and Goliath, right? So I think it's really cool when you put that pattern or that type with Yeshua, because we know that David defeated Goliath with the Torah, right? He had the 5 stones, right? So that right there was a representation of the Torah. And what was he kept on calling? He was calling him an unclean, because he was mocking the God of Israel. He wasn't just, so David went out there, defeated them with the 5 stones, which represent the 5 first books of the Bible, the Torah. And then I think the similarity, which is really cool, that I picked up is Yeshua, right? What does he do after he's brought into by the Spirit into the wilderness, right? That he defeats Satan with the Torah. He defeats him with 3 verses from Deuteronomy chapter 6 and then 1 from chapter 8. So he defeats him, right? But what is Yeshua in the desert for? 40 days. And when Goliath is taunting the Israelites, it's on the 40th day that David comes out comes out and defeats him. So, and that's in 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 16, shows that it was on the 40th day that is when David goes out and defeats him. And then Yeshua was there for 40 days in the desert, right? And defeats Satan with the Torah. Yeah.
You want to take that that type and that shadow to the next level?
Uh-huh.
Guys, here's the next level.
Oh, wait. Is it just Daniel?
Yeah. So all right. So you absolutely true. David kills Goliath, right? The giant with a rock, with one smooth stone, and of course, like you said, he actually picks up 5 in total. Kills him with the one. Definitely a Torah reference. I love the 40 days. I didn't realize the 40 days thing, but when you said that, all of a sudden it clicked in my head. So the story is David, who is a type of the Messiah, kills the giant. And the giant's got other brothers, right? He's got got a whole army behind him, and the whole army is going to fall apart after this. The book of Daniel tells us the story of Nebuchadnezzar,
Mm-hmm.
Right? Nebuchadnezzar has the dream. And what's the dream?
Yep.
Of a giant.
Mm-hmm.
It's
What
a
does it
dream
get
of a
chopped down
giant.
with?
Right. And what does it fall down with? A stone.
Yep.
And obviously that is the Mashiach. That is the son of David, the king of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
That's the stone that gets tossed at the giant. So what's the giant representative of? The nations.
Yeah. Yep.
And here's the kicker. Here's the hidden manna. When does that happen? 40 Jubilees after the death and resurrection.
Mm-hmm. So that's 340s tied into that.
Wow. That's some cool stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's and there's so many levels to this.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden you start seeing the picture bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yep.
And could it be? Is it feasible? I think so. I think that's a pretty cool catch. Mm-hmm. That this story is and so what's going to happen to the nations that are the giant of this world? Abba's going to destroy them, which is what Revelation 19 tells us.
Yep.
Abba's going to destroy them. The nation, the idol set up by the beast and the false prophet. And we're going to get into more of that next week, man. When you hear what that whole beast and the mark and all that stuff is really about. It's crazy. I mean, I'm almost chopping at the bit to say it now, but I got to hold on to it. I got to hold on to it. All right, so we definitely got King David.
And I wanted to throw also one more verse with Joseph. When he does get to his high position, right, from Pharaoh, after he interprets these dreams and the famine, he does the two thieves interpretations. But later on, he who was the survivor of that? The cupbearer.
The bread.
the bread.
No, it was the cupbearer. No, you're right. Right, the cupbearer
forgets to mention Joseph to Pharaoh, but then Pharaoh has the dream, and of course Joseph interprets it. It's about the 7 years of plenty and then the 7 years of famine, and then he puts him in a spot of all authority, and that's I wrote down the verse. I think it's Genesis chapter 40. Read that verse, chapter 40, verse 15, because we know that the scripture says in Matthew. No. You know what? It's try that, or 41. I wrote down. I didn't put next to it. I think it's 41:40, because underneath it I wrote Matthew 28, and that's when Yeshua says that Father has given him all authority.
Well, let's look. This is Genesis 40 and verse 15. For truly I was stolen away from the land of the Hebrews, and also I have done nothing that they should put me in the dungeon.
Yeah, that was his. So it's 41:40. I'm sorry, 41:40.
No problem. Genesis 41 and verse 40. Let me get there.
Yeah,
sorry guys, if you're watching on the screen.
Yeah, and we didn't even have time to go over this beforehand. So
it says, "Be over my house, you yourself, and at your mouth all my people shall kiss. Only in the throne I am greater than you." And Pharaoh said to Joseph, "See, I've set you over all the." Okay, you set you over all the. Yeah, complete authority.
Right, and Yeshua says the Father is greater than we know, right? We know that, so it's very similar. And then in Matthew 28:18 through 20, then this is what Yeshua tells.
Hold on, let me get there.
Yep, 18 through 20.
Give me a second. Yeah, I'm sorry for everybody that's watching this. I hope it's not making people dizzy. Matthew chapter 28, and what verse, brother?
18 through 20.
And verse 18, it says, "And the master came up and spoke to them, saying, all authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth." Obviously by who? Father.
Mm-hmm.
"Therefore go and make taught ones of the nations, immersing them in my name, of the Father and of the Son and of the set apart Spirit, teaching them to guard," obviously the commandments, "all that I've commanded you, and see that I'm with you always until the end." Yeah, cool stuff. Mm-hmm. Hey, but even the baker and the cupbearer, right? What is that a type of shadow of?
Yeah, you did this
years ago.
Yeah, and it's really cool. Why don't you elaborate on that? That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's hopefully everybody can see it now. For those that are part of our fellowship here in the Bronx, you guys should know this. We've talked about this multiple times, but what we're talking about is the bread and the wine. We're talking about, this is the Melchizedek offering. This is the wedding offering, the bread and the wine. And there's Joseph with the bread and the wine. But in this story, it's the baker and the cupbearer. But it's still
the candlestick maker.
All right. I got a type for you guys. I'm gonna share one, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and I hope it'll help us even explain kind of what's going on with us, like who we are, what we're realizing, what we're understanding today, as eyes are opening up all around the world of people realizing who Abba really is, what the story is really about. Mm-hmm. So here's let me go to Deuteronomy. Let me put this off the screen so I don't make people dizzy as I search for this. I'm gonna if you guys got your Bibles, I'm gonna go to Deuteronomy. Yes, Deuteronomy.
By the way, nice shirt there, buddy.
Oh, thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Deuteronomy. Well, I think is that Messiah? You see Messiah? Is that on yours?
Yeah,
yes.
my shirt. Yeah, Messiah. Yeah.
Oh, Messiah Never. Is all the things Messiah Never did? Is that that shirt? Yeah, I got one of those. That's cool. We got to get some new LMC
I gotta
gear.
get some gear. Yeah.
All right, so it's Deuteronomy chapter 17 for everybody that's checking this out. I'm going to read something that seems so obscure as to not really have any relevance to who we are today, and yet there is nothing in the Torah that is irrelevant. It all has something to do with who Messiah is. Mm-hmm. I'm going to pick this up at about verse 14. I really want it's verse 18 on, but I want to put this in context, right? So here's verse 14. Let me put this on the screen so you guys can see it. This is Moses' instruction to the house of Israel when they get into the land. Mm-hmm. That at some point when they get into the land, they're going to be swayed that they're going to want a king, just like the nations around them have a king, right? And obviously it was Abba's intent to eventually send a king, the king of Israel. But so Abba gives them some guidelines, some Torah guidelines for the king. It says, when you come into the land which Yah your Elohim is giving you, and shall possess it and shall dwell in it, you shall say, let me set a king over me, like all the nations that are around me. So just what I said. Mm-hmm. Verse 15, you shall certainly set a king over you whom Yah your Elohim shall choose. Set a king over you from among your brothers. You are not allowed to set a foreigner over you who is not your brothers. So the king of Israel has to be of Israel. Mm-hmm. Can't be a Gentile king. He's not to be known as a Gentile king. That's a whole message all by itself as to what we have actually done with the story of Messiah, what we've made him. We've made him a Gentile king. All right, so there's
the shirt I'm wearing right now, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole other tight parallel. I don't even want to get into it for today. We'll talk about another time. Another study, another manna. Verse 16. Only he is not to increase horses for himself, or cause the people to return to Egypt to increase horses, for Yah has said to you, do not return that way again. You're not supposed to go back to Egypt. The king's not supposed to send you back to Egypt, right? Messiah doesn't send us back to sin. Gets us out of sin. You're not supposed to go back. And he is not to increase wives for himself, lest his heart turn away, nor is he to greatly increase silver and gold for himself. So the king is not supposed to have a whole bunch of different wives.
700?
And what happens is with the wives, Siri's looking up wives on my phone.
That's funny.
So what happens with wives is once you start getting multiple wives, then you start incorporating all the traditions of the other nations. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Is that not what has happened to us? Mm-hmm. And it shall be, and this is really what I want to get to is verse 18. Here it is. And it shall be when he sits on the throne of his kingdom, his kingdom, that he shall write for himself a copy of this Torah in a book from one before the priest. So before the priest means the copy Moses wrote, right? From before the priest, the Levites, and it shall be with him, and he shall read it all the days of his life, so that he learns to fear Yah his Elohim, and to guard all the words of this Torah and these laws to do them. So basically, the king, whoever's going to be king, has to literally write the Torah down.
Yep.
And with good reason, because it's telling us, so that the king knows it. Yeah. So that and so now the king can judge and be a good king, judge righteously according to the instruction. But he had to write it down, letter for letter, word for word, but by his own hand. Okay, so that's what the king is supposed to do. Now, what do we inevitably hear amongst the religious world today? Torah is not for us. Torah has been done away with. What in essence we're being told is the king of Israel came, gave himself up as the Passover offering, died and rose again to remove the Torah. That is absolutely 100% against the Torah, of whom we just, the movie, not just a movie, but what we understand, Messiah is the Torah.
Yep.
So here, this is awesome. This is crazy. This is awesome. Here is, let's see, we can look at it in a couple different spots, but I want to look at it where it was first said. This is Jeremiah 31 and verse 31. This should be really familiar to everybody. We've read this a gazillion different times. So here's Abba telling them something's coming. A renewed covenant is coming. A new covenant is coming. See, the days are coming, declares Yah, when I shall make a renewed covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. I'm sorry, I went up a little bit too far. Not like the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I strengthened their hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, my covenant which they broke, though I was a husband to them, declares Yah. For this is the covenant I shall make with the house of Israel after those days, declares Yah. I shall put, and I'm going to put a little PDP version in there. I am going to write my Torah in their inward parts. Oh, and here it is. I don't even have to put. I don't have to put the PDP version in there because it's already said. And I shall write it on their hearts, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. Well, how does Abba do that? Through the Mashiach, who is the King of Israel.
Yep.
And what is the King of Israel doing right now? He's not writing the commandments on stone. He lived it out perfectly.
What a good connection, man. That's nice.
He is writing it on our hearts.
The tablets of our heart.
Come on. Somebody say amen.
That's right. That's awesome.
That's some cool stuff. That's some hidden manna. That's some hidden manna.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that a great type?
It's great, but it just makes you realize how sad it is when people don't get it and they think it's done and done and over with, and it's not for you, it's not for us. Wow, but that's awesome, man. What's the duty of the king?
What's the duty of the king? Yep. To write the Torah, not on stone, but on hearts of flesh now. And so that's what's being written on all of us. He is writing out, he is handwriting out a copy of the Torah in all of us, to have us learn it, understand it, put it into practice, understand its prophetic significance, understand who Messiah is in it. Because eventually, who's the one that leads the house of Israel into Jerusalem? David does.
Yep.
The king. And that's awesome. Going to happen again. That's going to happen again. Oh, wow. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
And I can imagine,
that's mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, it's so cool, man. When you go through all the scriptures with a circumcised heart and with the new wine, and you start to piece all these things, and Yeshua was not kidding. It's always been all about him, right? And
it's always
everywhere
been
in the
all about
scripture.
him.
Everywhere in the scripture, from the sacrificial system, because that's the other thing you get. Well, do you guys still do sacrifices?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I think somebody put in the chat. I saw something tabernacle or the master of the master of the tabernacle. Great patterns, parallels. Yep. There are so many of them. It is absolutely impossible for us within an hour to do more than like two of them, and even that we're doing an injustice to it because there's so much more to develop on each one of these. But I wanted tonight to be. Go ahead.
I was about to say that's the great era of trying to separate Yah's word. It's one continuous story, and so I just wanted to throw that in.
But it is only there if you have eyes to see it. Because how long did we just not see it?
Yep,
But
exactly.
if you have eyes to see it, yeah, cool stuff. I wanted to again, guys. We wanted tonight to be a little bit lighter, especially with all the craziness that's going on around us.
Yep, I agree.
Just
Excuse me.
have some
Yep.
peace in your mind, peace in your heart. Abba's in control.
Mm-hmm.
If he's done all of this stuff before, if he can keep his word the way he's kept it, if he can tell the story the way he's told it, if he can bring the right people at the right time to do then you know what, Abba's got the whole thing in his hands,
Yep.
and we don't have to worry. Doesn't mean tough times aren't coming.
Yeah. It doesn't mean don't plan, don't use wisdom, but don't worry. Yeah.
But we don't have to worry. All right, man.
Exactly.
Our hour,
Cool,
believe
man.
it or not, just
That was
flew
really quick.
right by.
That was really
Flew
quick.
right by.
We
Well, I
didn't
hope
even
this was
hit-
a.
Yeah.
I know. I got a couple others too. We just don't have time to do it.
Looking forward to tomorrow. Any insight on tomorrow or?
Yeah, I was thinking about. I mean, normally I have it all prepared already, but I'm just still mulling around in my mind. We're gonna. I mean, we just finished talking about Abraham,
Mm-hmm.
and there's so many more parallels in Abraham. But if I do every single one of the parallels in the Torah, we'll be in Abraham for right after Passover. And I want to get through some of the other story, especially for people that are sort of just starting off in their walk. Some of the basic stories that they may be familiar with, but then understand how those Torah stories actually tell the story of Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, we're going to probably touch a little bit on Isaac and Ishmael, but I really want to get to Esau and Jacob. Because Esau and Jacob really is, I think I might go that route because that is really connected to what we're going to talk about on Wednesday. The other beast.
Yes,
I'll just put that out there as a commercial.
Yeah, you gave me
Right?
a little teaser. I know.
What's your appetite? Yeah, that's right. I did tell you a little bit about it. But I'm just trying to whet everybody's appetite. Little teaser. There's another beast. There's another mark. So we'll just, we'll keep that out there. Dun, 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 right? Last word, brother.
Love everybody. Thank you for commenting and watching. We love you guys, man. It's a pleasure for me to be fellowship with you guys on a Friday night. Even though I can't see your faces, I know you're there, and I know you guys love us, and we love you. We love you, PD. We thank you.
Thanks, brother.
From my family and extended family, in-laws, we love what you do, bro. You're definitely Yah's using you in so many ways and is giving you great wisdom. That's another thing. We always pray for give us eyes to see. Scripture says, ask for wisdom. Yah will give it to you. He'll give it to you in abundance. Ask him.
Yeah.
Ask him.
Pressed down, shaken over.
Yep. But we appreciate you, man. I know personally, as your brother, the work that you do every day and doing this and bringing and my sister even said, it's not even like you bring crap. You don't come half loaded. You know what I'm saying? You come prepared, and you bring the truth, and you bring a good solid meal. You know what I'm saying?
That's good, man.
Just giving us salad and carrots. I'm like, what?
I'm not teaching crap. Tell Michelle I love that. That's awesome.
She's Michelle's so funny. I can't wait for you to meet her. We love Michelle.
Oh boy, that's funny. Well, hopefully we'll see her this upcoming Friday night on our Zoom call.
Yep.
I love you, brother.
Hopefully her husband Scott will be on there too with us.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yep.
That'd be very cool.
So Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Love you. We love everyone from the East Coast to the West and across the sea. So we love everyone out there. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you for the kind words, brother. Peace.
Thank you, brother. Love you, man. Shabbat Shalom.
You too, bro. All right, guys. We hope that you enjoyed that conversation. A little bit lighter today, but we wanted it to be that way. Hopefully to encourage you just to get into the weekend as you're doing your own personal studies, hanging out, having food. Enjoy the day tomorrow. Enjoy it with your family. Enjoy it with your friends. Enjoy the message tomorrow that we're going to share. If you have a fellowship where you are, enjoy your fellowship where you are. But then tune in to us later on. Watch the message later on. It'll be one that's encouraging. In the meantime, guys, have an awesome, awesome rest of the night. Don't forget, guys, as always,